What's going on, y'all? This is Comms Engineering, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to install an underglow custom DIY kit on your vehicle. This is going to be tailored towards my CX-5. However, this is a universal kit, so let's get right into it.
All right, so it is officially underglow season. We've got 2 rolls of waterproof LED strips. These come in 3 pins. You've got green, white, and red. Red is the power, white is the ground, green is signal. We've got something up here. It is called the Blue Ghost controller. If we open this up, we take a look inside. All of these flathead screws are going to be pressing down on the wires that we're going to be putting in here. We've got input on this side, output on this side. Bruh. Power, ground, park, brake, reverse, EXT, I'm not sure what that is. We got turn 1 and turn 2, which is turn signal. Right here are other 12-volt accessories that you want to add. So we got 4 switches, ground power, 5-volt actually, not 12-volt, and outputs. So as I mentioned before, with these 3-pin LEDs, ground, data to power. Data is just the green one, which is signal. Ground, data, and power. So I guess in total we have 2 of the 2 outputs for 2 LEDs. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. We can solder as much LED as we want onto this. Here are where the wires are going to end up going. So yeah, let's see what we need for the video.
So it turns out you don't actually need this Ghozt controller. This is about $160. All you need is a DC controller off of Amazon and also the 12-volt charger that it comes with to connect it. But this specific video is tailored towards this controller because I wanted to use the extra features that it has, but you can do this way. And I will be making another video with the cheaper option. Alright, so if you have the Blue Ghost controller, you're going to go ahead and go into this website right here, which I will link in the description. But essentially, this is the Blue Ghost website, and it's right here I'm going to use the Blue Ghost 2.0 or the Plus. It's the upgraded version. Here are the steps if you want to connect some power and ground. This has a step-down converter converting 12 volts to 5 volts if your LED is 5 volts rated, but the one that I have is 12 volt rated, so you don't really need it. Over here, if you were wondering what these 2 extra red and white wires, it says here these are extra to add supplemental power for smaller builds. So you don't really need those, you can trim it off. And here are steps for the app, which I'll show you later in the video, YouTube tutorials, and some more description. Up here, we've got even more instructions. We've got the arrangement of stuff inside of the app. Specifically right here, it's showing you the turn signal instructions, some more show modes, and you've got the extra accessories for the 12-volt switches. So we're going to be using a lot of stuff in this video to be well prepared and make this work correctly and make it look neat. I'm going to show you guys what you might need. You may or may not have all this, but here it is. Obviously got your 2 LED rolls, or if you just use one, that's completely fine. Blue Ghost controller, which I'll link in the description. I'll also link everything that I'm about to put down so far. 3-pin roll of wire. It's basically the red, white, and green, but like a roll of it. Some normal power and ground roll of wire to power that right there, the controller. So since we're doing a custom DIY underglow, I'm going to be using some silicone sealant for just sealing it up from water and like rain and all that. Wire strippers and a precision screwdriver. And you're going to be using the 1.4 millimeter flathead screwdriver to screw in the screws inside of that controller, pressing those wires down so it can connect in. Ring terminals are also going to help put the ground and power on the car's battery. If it is a constant 12 volt, you can just you can strip it, put it inside of this, crimp it down with the wire stripper, and just unscrew the red and black screws on the battery and just put them through the hole right there, and so it can clamp down. That's mainly what these are going to be used for. If you're not going to be doing any soldering, then your best bet is going to be these 3-pin wire to LED strip connectors. The way it works is you've got the wires that go in here. So let's say, like for example,
power, which is red, and then green always in the middle, and then white, which is ground. And then you just shove those in there, just kind of like push it down. Silver pins right here are just gonna pierce through that. And it's under here, it's gonna pass through to the other side, which is literally where you just shove the LED strip in. Make sure power, data, or signal, and then ground. And just clamp that down too. You don't really need to peel the silicone back. You can leave that in, just shove it in, clamp down on both sides.
Now that I've showed you what you need, along with some disclaimers, we can go ahead and build this thing. Let's get to it.
Now your kit should come with some of these 3-pin connectors, and it should have some of the wire sticking out at the end. Just attach that to one of the LEDs, like I've done here. So this is one of the 3-pin connectors that came with the kit. I'm just attaching, I think this was a female and this is a male. So attach those together and just stick it into the outputs. And then to take some of this and go right here with it. Basically, I'm just gonna strip it somewhere here and test it on the car batteries. Make sure power red, data 1 is green, ground is white. Before you power this thing, make sure that there's these arrows on the LED right here. In this scenario, it's an output direction, so we have it correctly wired up in terms of where the electricity is flowing. So make sure you pay very close attention to the arrows on it. Okay, so output, arrows are going that way. And input is just power and ground, so we're good. Okay, so I've stripped a bit off of the end of the 18 gauge wire for power and ground, and I've got LEDs hooked up. So I'm just gonna strip some wire off and test it on the actual car battery. Okay, so I've got the 3 pins connected on the output side of the blue Ghozt controller, and that's basically just going to the LEDs. Again, pay attention to the arrows. And then on the other side, it's literally just power and ground. So those top 2 right there, and it just ends off as 2 stripped wires at the end. So once you connect these to the battery or to any 12-volt supply that you have, this is gonna turn on, and you're gonna need to download the Blue Ghozt app for this, and it's basically gonna set this up as a module. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm gonna start by cutting right about here and soldering on some of this so that we can start by wiring way down there so it can come out somewhere here. So we'll hit that Blue Ghozt, enter pin. I don't know what the hell the pin is.
So this numpad right here is basically making you enter a pin number whenever you reconnect the controller to power. So that is basically kind of setting it as a passcode.
Okay, so Bluetooth pairing request would like to pair with your phone. I'm just gonna hit pair, I guess. Oh. Okay, show modes. There it is. So the LEDs do work. This is popcorn. Let's do waves. Yeah, waves. That's what waves look like. All right, before you even start putting the underglow on under your car, figure out where the entry holes and the exit holes are going to be. We're going to take off the wheel well and kind of like put it right over it, coming down right here, going all the way down. Again, you got to pay attention to the arrows. So wire coming in again on the other side and finishing it off down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right over here where those 3 copper things are, and I'm just going to test to see if soldering the 3-pin wire on it is going to still light the end of it up. That way I don't lose too much. So I used the wire strippers and cut right in the middle of those 3 copper. Come on, focus. I'm just gonna solder those 3 pins onto this and then reconnect it back to that. Let's see how it is.
Motherfucker.
We're here. We're gonna start off with connecting the ground and soldering it back. And then we're gonna do red to 12 volt, green to data out. Data, that says D out. Keep it like around 300 Celsius, by the way. So a quick solder tip that may make your life a whole lot easier is when you're feeding in that lead wire into the LED strips, make sure that it's touching the copper before touching it with the actual solder. That'll make it melt over very, very easily. All right, so you should have a connection kind of like that. So that's what we're gonna do for the other two. Okay, second one has been applied. Now all that's left is this green. All right, so you should be left with something like that. As you can see, it's all combined, ground with ground, data out with data out, because it's going outside. And then the power, 12 volts going with the red. I have a sealant gun here, or a caulking gun, that I put the silicone sealant on. You don't really need this. You can just squeeze it out of the bottle itself, but apply this to your freshly soldered wires to make that waterproof again. So I applied the silicone sealant, pressed the one that was peeled back, I pushed that back down, and that kind of like seeped all over the place. So I cleaned it up, but essentially we have something like this, and then we can solder the other side just to test the one that's been cut off, which is right here. You don't have to do this part. You don't have to do this part, but I just want to test it out, so let's get to it. Basically the same exact steps as that. Again, optional. All right, second side is done. So what I'm gonna do is insert these power and ground wires into these terminals, grip it down with the wire stripper, and then unscrew this right here, put it inside. I've got the red and black connected again. As you can see, here's the welded part. It is lit up and all working. All right, but make sure on the end of your wire, this is very important, make sure at the end of the wire, the one that you're connecting, where it has these two, red and white, that they're not touching each other. Otherwise that'll short the entire thing and it'll screw it up. So strip it kind of like I did right here. Just strip it with the wire stripper and leave it like this if you want to, but just make sure it just doesn't touch, the wires don't touch together. All right, so we're gonna zip tie this somewhere here on the frame, and then we're gonna feed the wire down.
Nah.
But we're just gonna...
No, we're not gonna do that.
All right, shut up. So we're just gonna cut this right here. Exactly. So we're just gonna feed some more 3-pin wire down there. So again, let's review this. One side, we have these two wires, which are the input. All it is power and ground. We've got the output, which is one LED, and we can put another one in here if you wanted to. Fed some down there, ended up right here. So I'm gonna reconnect that with the end of this, because I cut off kind of right here. So I'm just gonna reconnect that, and always pay attention to the arrows. So this is gonna be like that. So I just fed the wire down from the engine compartment. I don't want this hanging wire here. So I'm gonna open up this wheel well. We've got a couple clips here and some screws. So in this part, we're just gonna try and figure out where to route this wire and for the LED. It took about 10 minutes in total, taking off the clips, routing it, and then putting the clips back on. Again, this is a universal custom kit, so I can't really tell you how you should do yours because you may have a different wheel well design. So this may require some extra time for you to figure out where to put. Okay, well, I totally screwed up that audio and video sync, but essentially what I was saying is I was just going to bend the wheel well down a little bit and kind of see where I want to feed the wire. But essentially what I was saying is your vehicle's wheel well design may be different than mine. So this step may require you to inspect the wheel well and see where you want to route it. So you're going to be left with this, and then that's going to be in there. So basically, I think I'm going to choose this. The only reason why I won't choose this is because there's like at the end of there, that's where service puts the lift. You're doing like tire inspections and whatnot. This one goes all the way down. But first, we're gonna have to clean this because look at that. A wet towel, like this one, and all you do is literally just wipe it down. Look at all that. That will peel it off. Start.
Alright, so once you get here, you're just going to start applying the adhesive onto wherever you want to put the lights. But remember to go slow and don't go too fast, otherwise it won't look pretty. And on the other side, same step. So it turns out when I backed out of my driveway, I ran over the wire that was connected to the right side of the car for the LED strip. It pretty much just ripped what I'm holding right now. So just make sure everything is secure, not hanging too low or dangling. So I've got wire lined up.
Cap, I did it.
So the homie put the wire and set it up under these little clips on the CX-5. Now I'm just gonna reattach that to the Ghozt down there. Under here, you can see like right where that blue clip is this right here.
It's on my toes. They're for free.
All right. You can pretty much just do the same pulling method from that ambient light video. Attach it there, and it'll go run down here. It'll go out here. All right, so here is the finished right side. This right here was hanging off way too much. I didn't really know how to secure it other than hot glue. Again, this is a DIY project, so it's not gonna look amazing. And the left side, again, I'm gonna strip those off and show you guys how the app works now. All right, here I am inside of the Blue Ghozt app. I'm gonna hit connect and pair, wait for this to load. Gave it a nickname, ignore that. It'll go to the home page, which is show modes. Hit this plus button. This, we have popcorn, which is that right there. I showed that earlier in the video, but you got a whole bunch of options here. Solid is what I usually just go with. Strobe, sparkle, lava lamp. This one's all right. So yeah, that's the home page. If you go to vehicle, you can see different turn signal settings, parking light settings, and then brake signal, reverse signal. These are just the recommended settings that they had on the getting started page. Okay, so here, these are for your turn signals. Press plus for left and right. We have strips. These are LED strips, so we're gonna stick with that. Keep them at 30, left and then right. And then wait for this to be all the way done. So yeah, so that, I think when you're driving and you're turning your signal left and right, it'll just do this animation right here, which is bounce. So left, a yellow light, and then right, another yellowish light. Parking lights, brake signal. I'm pretty sure that's all set, because here in the new show, if you go back to the home page and hit the settings of the gear icon, this thing is selected, which is for the turn signal. Pretty sure you should be good. However, if you're not, then I'm gonna have to figure out why the turn signal won't work. But if you keep on going on the tab menu here, you have the extra four switch accessories. Remember, in the Blue Ghozt controller, like those 4 little things underneath where we put the power and ground. This is where you can nickname, LED type, mode, brake function. Oh, you can also import your own show modes, your own patterns, which is pretty cool. And Bluetooth. So yeah, that pretty much concludes the video. However, I will have updates regarding how to more efficiently use this controller, this specific one, and I'll have another video explaining and showing you guys how to do the cheaper option for this. I'll see you guys in the next video.